So now we're going to do the next part of the build, and that's actually the display stand of the Strike Freedom. Why am I building this now? Shouldn't I be building this at the end of the whole series? Well, to tell you the truth, the manual says that the next thing I have to build after the backpack is the stand. So I've already pre-done this one just to see how it is by accident, so I'm sorry if I didn't show it off. Basically there are two parts to this, and you stick it onto this guy. Then you stick the support leg here, and it has to be in this position with this little fin. Actually, no, excuse me, I am totally wrong. Looking at it in a different direction. There we go. Support fin outwards. Then snap it into place. I wonder if this part needs to be reinforced with glue, but I'm hearing it snap in pretty good. There we go. Then from the base stand here, stick this guy down, and then lower this part down like that. And then clearly you have the option of putting it in a vertical position or putting it in a 45-degree position. And don't ask me what position this is. This could be a 90 or maybe a 50 or whatever. I have no idea. But this is pretty much what it would look like while it's holding up this big kit. And it looks like I'm going to need a tripod. Alright, let's continue on.
And now we're going to start on the wings. And first off, the Dragoons. And these are pretty simple. I've done the other 7 already, and because of that, this is going to be a pretty quick little build, or it better be, because let me just say, it is really boring and time consuming, and it's probably the worst part of the build, because like I said, the first one is cool, because having the inner frame in the Dragoons is something that's never been done before, and it's really fun to do. But after the second one, it's still kind of cool. The third one starts to get repetitive. By the time you're on the last one, this one here, it's downright just mind-numbingly repetitive, and you know exactly what to do without looking at the freaking instructions. So, it is a problem, and the fact that there's so many joints on here does not help when you're trying to assemble it, because, like you see, parts will start to flop around and fall all over the place. But it can still be done. Now you can see it's very jointy. And I'm also going to assemble these blue parts, because the way it has to go, well, I'll explain in a second. Now you also take this bar, and you get 8 springs, which just feeds through here. Now, it looks pretty long, but it's like that for a reason. Now, you take the shell of the Dragoon, take the little gold tip piece, and it's just going to sit right in here. But be careful, because it can fall out rather easily. And then, what I like to do anyways, is take this part that I just put together, and just track here, these 2 pegs, I'll actually just slide right on there. And then you just gotta slide it along. This peg, and this peg are all going to feed into these grooves, these tracks, all on the, kind of like the inside, near the, where the thruster would be for the Dragoon. And so you just have to line it all up, and then you can take the bar with the spring, feed the spring in a hole at the front here, and then just peg this end of it right here, and then take the blue bit, because I find this the most, usually, besides the gold bit, it's the most finicky to stay. And then you gotta sandwich the whole thing without anything moving, and it's kind of annoying, but let's see if I can do it. Yeah, there we go, first try. That's good, I guess. Well, because I've done it 7 other times, It makes sense. And what all these joints and the spring does is this. It compacts this thruster piece at the end of the Dragoon. So basically, since I haven't actually got the wings on yet, it would make sense that they retract and the wing pieces can slide in there. And then when they're out of it, you see that. Too bad there's no way to mount these separately. That would be very awesome now that you have actual thrusters in the back. So, once you do that, do it 7 more times. And then you'll have all the Dragoons. And now, wing time. Alright, I'm going to try being the word, to do these wings on camera. They're very, very finicky, and I've been trying multiple times, but I just can't get started, so I'm going to try it again. Now, this is what you're going to start with, pretty much. Now, you've got these little teeny pegs at the bottom. There's 2 sets. You want the lower ones. Alright. Now, you want to take the long part here, which has the point and the peg. Alright. Now, you want to keep the little sharp bit sticking right here in the same direction as this piece right here. Okay? And then just put that peg into this track here. Then take this arm and keeping it like this, put it into this peg right here. Alright? And then take the other side and try to sandwich this all together. Everything should line up. This into the track, that hole into the peg, and there we go. Now, you'll let this piece move like this, okay? Now, keeping it like this, I'm going to come... Actually, I'm going to do it the opposite way, because this piece is next. Alright? But it has the track on this side, the other side doesn't, so it's easier to show you with this. You just slide it into this groove, so there, that'll move like this. Now, I'll flip it around and show you this hole, this little hole, and this peg will go together. So, you need to get the track and the peg together like that. Alright. And then, take the other side and make sure it's right. There we go. And peg it together. Alright, so you got something like this right now. Next piece is this, and you're actually going to put it down here, and it will lock these 2 halves, which are kind of loose right now at the bottom, together. Just like that. You're just going to make sure they're really, really tight together. Then, this little piece here I put on before, I'm going to take this little bit, and just clip it in. Alright. Now, taking these pieces, and having them like this, you're going to take this little teeny peg right here, and just peg it into this piece, and then get the other side, peg it in. Alright, so I got this going on. Now, these little parts, which I only can find one piece of it. There we go. These little parts, these are, I know it's hard to believe, but these are the trickiest parts because they have to be exactly right or this will not work, the mechanism. You want to take this hole, put in this peg, this track with this peg. Sounds easy, but you have to make sure when you have to move these pieces into a certain position so that, if I can get it to work, okay, you don't want it like this. This is the way I first did it on my first piece. You don't want it straight. Alright? The way you actually want it, if I can get it proper, easier way is to take it out like that and finagle it yourself. But you basically, this little bar piece, you want to have it right in this gap, right in this little gap as far as you can. And then get the peg into that track. It can be fiddly. But once you get it, you'll see how it's at an angle now? And that's the way you want it. And then I can just put the other side on. There we go. And so now you have this. That's what you want. Now I can take the armor pieces and just peg them in. The holes will just fit in these big holes, the pegs will fit in these big holes here. Like that. And you also want to make sure this little piece here, that little flap I added, there's a little track right in here. You want to stick that in there. Just right there, and then you can just put the other armor piece as in it. It likes to come apart until you get it secure, that little flap. There we go, just make it nice and secure, and there it is. And it'll do that. That's what it should do. And it's already very long. Now, these are the two pieces I need. Now, it's actually different for both halves. You can see the ends are very different, but everything I've shown you is exactly the same for each side. These parts will come into play next.